And we can return to our top story for more on those horrifying figures out of the Gaza Strip, where the health ministry has now said that 150,000 Palestinians have been wounded and injured in Israel's genocide. We're going to speak to Caroline Willemen, who's project coordinator at the Doctors Without Borders clinic in Gaza City. She joins us from there now. Caroline, you're very busy, I know, so thank you so much for your time. I'm going to repeat some figures because they bear repeating. Out of those 150,000, 18,500 require long-term rehab. 4,700 or more have had one or more limbs amputated. Additionally, 44,000 children have now lost one or both parents. Where do you even begin with the needs of all these people in a land where there is no hope and no help?
I think you described perfectly well the enormous struggle that we are up against. And this is the reality of literally being on the ground, witnessing a genocide. As you say, 150,000 people injured since in the last 22 months. Knowing that also before the war, actually access to prosthetics, to assistive devices in the Gaza Strip has been very difficult due to the economic blockade. And of course, now the number of people in need of those devices has multiplied x-fold to absolutely dystopian, horrendous numbers. And it's something that here in Gaza City, where we run a primary healthcare clinic, even at our level, I see it every day. I meet every day people who are amputated. I meet every day the people who come to our wound care nurses to have burns or other prosthetic orthopedic injuries being taken care of. We see the impact also of the malnutrition on the healing of those wounds. They're not healing the way they should because on top of everything, people are not just wounded, they also don't have access to sufficient food. Many of them are living in tents without access to water. So imagine trying to keep those wounds clean when you live under those circumstances. It is an enormous challenge that the Palestinian health system is up against. And of course, the health system has also been decimated. So it feels like a fight against a very big tide, yes.
For those nearly 5,000 who've lost limbs, the 17,000 children who are orphaned, they've lost both their parents, for those who've suffered mental trauma and all manner of other physical injuries, how important is rehabilitation? Would rehabilitation be, if it was available, for them to enable to carry on with life in an acceptable way?
It's tremendously important because, of course, the sooner this rehabilitation can start, the more people would be able to maintain some mobility. The better they would be able to relearn how to live with those horrendous injuries that they have. But as you say, of course, there is also the mental health impact. For me, it's described best of all horrendously by an 11-year-old girl that I met, that I spoke to. We were joking together, and then she tells me very seriously, I wish a very big bomb would fall all over Gaza and we could die all at the same time instead of dying very slowly, one day at a time. And for me, it encapsulates what is happening to the soul, the spirit of people here. What we need first and foremost, because yes, we need rehabilitation, we need mental health, but we need an end to this genocide. We need an immediate, sustained ceasefire so we can stop having more people wounded and the health sector can start to recover and actually take care of these people who are in such desperate need.
But I dare say that taking care of those people, even if a ceasefire happened, it would barely touch the sides of what's required. What does a viable recovery plan in a time of peace look like? And I guess the question is, who foots the bill?
Honestly, it's I'm not sure if I have an answer to that question because, as you say, the numbers are astronomical. We are here as one of many NGOs trying to do something. For sure, we do not have the capacity to care for 150,000 people injured. And in those 150, actually, we're not counting the 2 million because every single person here in Gaza has had their mental health damaged by living a genocide every single day. We will need the world to step up. We will need the world to step up in a way that they have not done at all until now. The world is watching what is happening here, and we will need the international community to come in and to actually first may help stop what is happening, and then we will need a flood of assistance to help people recover, which will be a matter of years, decades, generations for people to recover from what we have, from what they've lived through these last 22 horrendous months.
Caroline, finally, there was a report back in February outlining how nearly $53 billion is required to rebuild Gaza over 5 years. That's the kind of the physical infrastructure of Gaza. What we've been talking is kind of the mental infrastructure, if you like. And that's the thing that's got to be repaired first of all, right?
Yes, absolutely. But one thing I will repeat again and again is that people keep saying there is no humanity left in Gaza. And I will always and every time counter that. I have never seen more humanity in Gaza than in the healthcare workers here. In my life, I have never seen more humanity than I have encountered in Gaza. And that is the one thing that gives me hope that, yes, it is possible. We need the international community to step up to their moral obligation to make this stop and to help the recovery. But I have an unwavering belief in the fact that it is possible when I see my Palestinian colleagues work every single day.
Yes, astonishing stories of bravery and, as you say, humanity. Caroline Willemen from Doctors Without Borders, thank you so much for joining us here on Al Jazeera. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.